Antlers Deep Podcast.
Oh, yes.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome back to Antlers Deep. Before we get started, let's put God first, and Devin's going to give us a word real quick, and then we're going to get started.
Yeah, so this has just been on my mind today. It is Psalms 34. This is David, and here's what he said. He said, "I'll bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together." And then further down in it, in verse 8, it says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good, and blessed is the man that trusteth in him." And I just love that because, in whatever that you're doing, and I may have touched on this some last podcast, I don't remember, but in whatever that you're doing, whether it's hunting, whether it's working, whether it's talking on the phone to people like I do at my job, or shooting a wedding, or whatever that we all do, we can always magnify the Lord and lift him up in all things, and I think that he takes pleasure in that. He likes to see his children, putting him first in all that he does. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer, God's open doors and closes doors as well.
Yeah.
And we got a new face.
Yes.
We got Aaron Hill.
Sir.
So, Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you got started in the hunting.
All right, so I started shooting with Dad just out in the yard when I was probably 5 or 6. Picked up a bow when I was 9. Just a little youth bow. I couldn't actually hunt with it. Then I got one when I turned 10 that I could hunt with. Started hunting age 11. We started God's Archers at age 13. I got my first kill hunting when I was like 15.
Okay.
Had to hunt 5 years to kill a deer, but
That's okay. The thing
works for some
they had to have more than 10.
It works for some people.
but yeah, it's just something. I mean, I didn't start out as young as some people, but it's just something I feel like I grew up doing. Just going to the woods is that place where I can just get away, pray when I need to, and just focus on God. That's the thing I love about hunting. Just looking at the spiritual side of things and just getting to enjoy God's creation. Because, I've hunted where I've focused on deer too much, and just I would get aggravated if I didn't even see one. And then I've had hunts where it was just, God, thank you for making me slow down to appreciate what you've created, and that's why I hunt.
That's all right. That's pretty awesome. I've learned a lot of patience. I didn't have a lot of patience before I started hunting, and I kind of still don't a little bit. But it's weird. I really don't have a lot. Oh gosh, my wife's gonna hear this and she's gonna say I was so right. But anyways, don't matter. But I really don't have a whole lot of patience. But when I'm in the woods, I don't know. It just comes over me to have patience, and I learned how to be patient and wait on the Lord in the woods, actually. And, when we wake up in the mornings, and of course, most of us when we go hunting, we're in the woods when it's dark, and watching the sunrise and stuff like that. Like, we have the most beautiful views that a lot of people don't get to see in their lifetime and stuff like that. So, actually watching that and develop, and, that's how I learned, like, man, okay, now it's dark, now it's daylight, okay, now it's a deer. It's kind of like God's, like, making me have patience. Like, you're gonna have to wait on me before anything happens, And back on our first podcast, and we talked about our first kills and stuff and how we got started, and I share with you when I first started, hunting. I didn't have the opportunity to hunt when I was a young age. I didn't start till I was about 13 or 14 years old, because my dad, he's from Alabama, and they rabbit hunted. They didn't, deer hunt here in Virginia and stuff like that. And so I was telling, them guys, my godfather, which went to church with us on Guest River, actually took me and showed me how to, be a hunter and stuff like that. And I never told y'all this on the first podcast. I'm going to tell y'all a funny joke, okay? So, first time, I told you we had the bows with the cables on it, and, you had to have the little fiber on the side, as your pin. When we went hunting, your first time getting left in the dark alone, that's that gonna make you or break you. It's gonna make you a man or make you a girl, probably. I don't know. But anyways, so my godfather leads me. He said, "Hey, sit right here," and stuff like that. And I'm like nervous already, Of course, I got a bow, he leaves, and back then we didn't have cell phones. We talked two-way radios, you know, and so I'm sitting there and breaking daylight finally, and I start hearing movement. So of course I get this bow and stuff, and I didn't have it released. So I used my fingers. So I'm getting ready, and I was like, man, this sounds like a herd. I'm like, man, it has to be a big deer, you know. And I'm already shaking, like you can literally hear the arrow on the bow like shaking, like it was like. If I was taking lie detector tests, I would have failed. But anyways, I'm getting ready to pull back. Or next thing you know, it comes behind the bushes. It's a cow. Okay, it's a cow.
Yeah, don't shoot the cow.
Did you let it have it?
I'm about to, man. I really thought about it because he just stared there and looked at me. And I remember this was my first time hunting, so I'm like, radio. And my girlfriend said, his name was Tom. I was like, Tommy. I said, how much will it cost if I shoot a cow? I said, is that bad or good? He said, you don't want to shoot that cow. He said, that's a lot of money. He said, don't shoot that cow. Yeah. So I'm going, shoot. Because I'm like not trying to be loud and scare deer. So I'm trying to shoot this cow that's going at me. I'm like, dude, that was the funniest. That was my funniest story ever going hunting by myself. And I'm like, now I look at it now and I'm like, I sometimes even think about that. I'm in the woods. I'm like, my first time hunting, I thought I seen a deer coming. Well, I heard a deer coming, and it was a cow. Literally, I about shot a cow.
I've done the same thing with turkeys, man. A turkey coming through the woods sounds like the biggest herd of deer you've ever heard in your life, and you're like shaking, like this is it, and then it's a stupid turkey.
Yeah,
I've learned that if it's really loud,
it's not a deer.
not a deer.
Yeah. It's
or
cool.
have you ever like now? I know people probably say no, there's no way you can tell. But you can be sitting there and you hear something behind you, and you can start listening to the feet, and you go, "That's a squirrel."
Yeah,
That's a squirrel. Can y'all got to that point yet and stuff?
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I really was like, "Man, that's a squirrel."
Wasn't.
No, it was a deer. Like it, I don't know what it was doing. It was kind of almost like playing with the other deer, and it was like jumping and trotting a little bit, but stomping, and then rolling and release and stuff.
That's
And I was
adorable.
like, "Huh?"
That's adorable.
You know what? It was adorable, Nathaniel. It was. And then, I sent the broadhead through it. Yeah, it was really nice.
It's not a good story.
Sorry, but it's the truth. So, I mean,
Turned kind of dark.
it did, but it's called hunting.
It's called life.
It's called life.
Sometimes it be like that.
So, Aaron, let's talk about this. What was your first bow you ever had?
First one I ever had was a Bear Warrior 3.
See, he was a bear. Told you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew
The
it.
first one I had that I could actually hunt with was a Mission Craze.
Okay.
So,
All right.
How do you feel now, Lamar?
I feel really nice.
I'm just kidding.
I feel really nice. He well, at least he started out with a bear.
Wait, isn't Mission part of Matthews?
it is.
It is.
Don't say that name on here.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Matthews. I have to give them props. The Matthews V3, which I shot. It's really not a bad bow. It's really not. And actually, competition wise, I actually shoot a Matthews. I don't tell. Dang, the cameras are on. I just told on myself. And I'm just joking with you, but I used to shoot a Matthews, and it was actually probably one of my best competition bows. But hunting bow, I gotta stick with the bear. Stick with the bear.
I bought Matthews. You know why? The main reason?
Why?
I really like their logo.
Their logo. Really?
It's very nice.
It's nice.
It is.
It flows.
It
Why
does
else
flow.
would you buy a bow?
I don't know.
I'm just.
Well, I bought the bear because it has a bear on it, so I can go.
Pretty hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get hit by the bear, you got to do that grab.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing about it. Brands, and as y'all know, I do videography, man. Whatever gets the job done.
That's exactly right.
It's
Lot of
not
good
exactly right.
Yeah,
A lot of good ones.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yeah, started off. Bows were like 44 inches axle.
Yeah.
Extremely loud, 50% let off.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Still got the job done.
we got it done.
It's today. It's almost like cheating. They've come so far. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to what
yeah.
20
This
years
is
ago,
a lot
what it would be like.
Yeah, I was actually at Beverly's Gun Pawn Shop today, and I seen an old bow, and I was looking at the old bows, and then looked at the new ones. I was like, man, like how time has changed in technology
Yeah.
and stuff. And back then when they first came out with crossbows, people was like, "Oh man, that's lethal and stuff like that." But now these compound bows is not far behind
Right. No, they're not.
with these, these
Yeah.
crossbows and stuff, and that's really crazy that technology has come that far to where they can do that.
Yeah.
What was your first bow? Matthews
Yep, Matthews Z3.
Z3.
That's what
Yeah,
I
that's a good bow.
That's a
Good
last
bow. I
one.
hunted with it for about Wish I
5
didn't get rid of mine.
These are great bow. And
Actually,
I hunted with it until I upgraded to that bear bow.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was
so-
just a solo cam, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just
Last-
single cam. It
last
was
solo cam
the
was a
last
good bow.
solo cam.
Yeah,
You know what? I always shot a solo cam until I got the Redemption.
it's nice.
I know, and I went. That's that's
good
my
draw
first
cycle.
double cam bow, and I couldn't believe like the difference, in it and stuff, and the speed and stuff like that. When I first shot, I was like, "Whoa!"
It's pretty gnarly.
You know, I was like, "This thing is nice," you know. But you know, what was your first bows in Matthews?
First one was Matthews wasn't even around when I started. My first one was an XI Impact.
Impact.
You had the high country, didn't you?
I did have a high country
Did you?
after that.
That's funny.
See, high country wasn't even around when I started.
Okay.
Right. So all of us can say we at least had owned a Matthews
Yeah.
at one point.
I've had a couple of them,
See,
2 or
Yeah.
3, 5. I don't remember.
I have one. How, you have one.
Just one, yeah.
How many you had? What are you shooting now?
The last ball I brought home was Matthews.
Uh-oh.
I've had the Craze. I've had the Halon 32. I wished I hadn't sold it.
I like this.
Have a TRX 38 for competition. I just got a V3X at Beverly's, and I'm getting ready to order a TRX 34.
34, okay. Now, you do competition, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about that. How, like when people, you know, when they go hunting and stuff and they want to practice and stuff, I always say, you know, get in like an indoor 5-spot or something like that. I learned a lot and it transitioned to hunting by, you know, doing tournaments.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you think, you know, doing competition can transition into hunting.
Honestly, if you shoot indoor, that's only going to help your form because you're just shooting at a dot. You're not shooting at a deer. You're not shooting at a 3D target where the rings change. You're shooting the same spot every time. So that means you have to do the same thing every time. And so that's going to help you carry over. When you get nervous,
Right.
you don't have to think about, oh, how do I grip? How do I
Yeah.
punch the trigger? Do I squeeze it? You don't have to think about that stuff. You just do it.
It's like a muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I love 3D. It is good hunting practice. You know, you do have to practice those different angles. I know Bird Creek likes to set up targets where you might have to kneel down or kind of lean back or lean forward. And so, you know, those things help. But honestly, indoor just helps more than anything. It will make you more consistent. Like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have shot a deer past 30, 35 yards.
Right.
This year, I had a deer take the trail I did not want him to take. He ran right by the clearing that I had at 50 yards. And he stopped at 54. I guessed him for 54 just because of the way he ran. So I held my 51 on his spine, and it dropped right into the lungs. If it wasn't for shooting indoor and just knowing how my bow shoots,
And getting that confidence.
yeah, I wouldn't have taken that shot.
Right.
good.
What's the farthest bow kill you've had?
Farthest, probably just a little bit over 40 yards.
40. I believe mine was 44 yards. 44 yards was my longest. And I was like you know, we used to shoot indoor all the time, and I was so confident. And I actually had my wife with me, and she got a little mad because she actually missed a deer before that. And we ran around this bend, and it opens up to this field, and I seen these deer coming off the hill, going into this field, and I said it was like a old truck that was parked there. So I go on the other side of the truck. I said, I'm gonna shoot that deer. And well, here comes this, of course, the most mature doe coming out. And I range just at 44 yards. I looked at her, I said, watch this. I pulled back and let that arrow fly. Man, I smacked that deer. That deer didn't go 20. Well, it did go more than 20, but, you know, but I was thinking to myself, if I wouldn't have had that confidence and that consistency, I would never took that shot. Like, when I first started bow shooting, if it went 20 yards,
You just let them walk.
You just let them walk, you know, and stuff like that. Now, you know, that to me, you know, 20 yards or 20 to 30 yards, it's like almost like a chip shot almost, you know, with these bows nowadays.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get real good, you know, we talk about 3D, you talk about indoor field archery.
Yes.
I mean, you're sitting back there at 80 meters and slinging them.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
where you can get really good.
What about you, Nathan? What's your longest?
15 yards.
15 yards.
15 yards.
15 yards. Ooh. How was that? Did it feel like it was a chip shot for you?
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, I don't know if, well, I ain't gonna tell. Well, I'll tell the story again. You know, my first bow kill. You know, it took me 4 shots to kill a deer. By the way, I've had a dummy deer. Is what we called it. Well, that's what I called it because I actually ranged. It was actually at 44 yards when I shot it, but it went over its back. I was like, oh man, I missed it. Well, it only ran like 2 or 3 yards. I pulled back, shot again. When it was back again, I was like, man. Well, angle. And it was probably at this point. I was like, it has to be 40 yards. Well, I put 40 up pin on. Nope, shot right up its belly. Well, that deer, I looked down, and I had 1 arrow left, you know, so it was going to make it or break it. And that deer literally turned the beeline straight to me. I said, this is a dummy deer. So I was like, and then I'm already shaking and stuff. You know, it's a buck, and, you know, it's my first bow kill. Well, you know, it would have been my first bird kill, so I'm sitting there shaking. And I was like, just calm down. I couldn't even look for it. I was like, just calm down. And I was actually in the ground blind. I wasn't even in trees. I was actually in the ground blind. I said, don't look. I said, just be still for a second, close your eyes. And I said, okay. I calmed down, opened my eyes. It's still just looking around like it's walking straight towards me. And finally it stopped and turned broadside, and I ranged it, and it had its head turned, and it was 32 yards. I said, and that's when I was like, I know I can make this shot. So I pulled back, put my 30-yard pin in, just barely, and let the arrow fly. And man, that smacked that deer. Dude, you should have seen me. I about took the whole,
Top of the blind.
Yeah, top of the blind up because I jumped. I was like, yeah. Well, I forgot I was in a blind, you know, and went boop, boop, you know. But I was so tickled to death. And, you know, that was it wasn't the biggest buck, but, you know, for me to have my first bow kill and stuff, that's memories and stuff like that. I don't like telling everybody I missed that deer that many times, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What's the farthest you shot, Devin?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the furthest I've shot is probably like 30.
30?
Yeah, I've only killed 2 with a bow.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because you don't bow hunt like a whole lot.
Right. Yeah, I bow hunted some when I was like 16, 17, and then I bow hunted about 3 years ago. And I'm probably gonna get back into it. And I was talking to Aaron before. My issue now is, like I talked about last time, my kids are always with me. Mm-hmm. With compound bow, you know, you'd really have to have 3 bows.
Yeah.
You can't shoot.
You might as well get the crossbow.
Right. Might as well do a crossbow. And I don't know. Another thing is I'm a big boy, and it is so hot in October usually. So, you know, I don't know. And I'm not, you know, gosh, I'm just limiting myself really. But I don't like heights either. So tree stands are, you know, it's whatever. I'll climb one.
I think everybody who climbing a tree stand for the first time could sit there and say they was like, I don't know about this, you know.
Yeah, it's like you got this little tiny pole you're climbing up, you know. This big.
Yeah, I remember the first time my girlfriend put me in a tree stand. You see on TV, but man, that looks cool. I can't wait to do that. And then it happened. He's like, I don't know about this, you know. That ground seems a whole lot safer, you know.
I'm thinking about buying me some 2-man
ladder
stands.
You get them with the big platform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like you just stay up there and live for all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm gonna do.
You know, I love bow hunting, and then this past year, my wife actually bought me. I didn't own a muzzleloader, and she bought me a muzzleloader because I was like, man, you know, like you can get some good deer, and I've had it to where you know you see deer, but you're not in range, and and you're like, I can't move to stand right now, and because you already got you know time and stuff like that, and then you know these muzzleloaders now are like rifles, you know they can reach out there.
Laser beams.
So I'm kind of excited to get in the muzzleloading game this year and give it. I know. You know it's funny. No, I don't think I told April this, but she's gonna find out now. But anyways, I was mentioning him. Because I knew she was mentioning, because she kept asking us questions. You know, when your wife asks you something, you know, you like.
Just off the wall.
Yeah. You know, and
you don't care about this.
Yeah. So, you know, first, and that's her cousin. So I'm like, she has to be mentioning Robert. So of course, and he's going to tell me. So, you know, I was like, listen, you know, I want this.
She's probably like, you know, if you were to shoot a muzzleloading bullet, how many grains?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
You know.
How much powder do you use? What kind of powder?
Would you want a scope on it right now, or like would you order a scope? Like how do you do
Where
that?
do you get it from?
Yeah. So, but she actually did a pretty good job. I really like it.
What'd you get? You remember?
He's a CVA.
CVA.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got CVA, and I actually ordered the.
Yeah.
Hold on, I ordered CVA, and I actually ordered Vortex scope for it.
Oh yeah.
It kind of turned out pretty sweet. I ain't even shot it yet, and I just put the scope on it right after Christmas, and it's sitting in a gun cabinet waiting for me just to put some powder in and let the bullet fly. But I'm pretty excited to try it though.
I'll tell you, I had, which this gun was stolen out of my truck, but I had a Thompson Center Omega with the Omega scope that had the 3 reticles.
Yeah.
Dude, I shot a deer. It was actually the day before I got married. I shot it was 323, 24 yards with that.
Wow.
I mean, which I held way above it. You know, his luck. But, but those dots really helped, and it's amazing. When I remember my papaw, you know, he would carry around that bag of powder and stuff and be trying to measure out the powder. You know, he would pre-measure it out, and it's crazy.
How times has changed. Now you literally you can get preload pellets, put the bullet in there, and put a cap on.
Yeah.
And,
Is your new one like a breakdown shirt?
Yeah.
That's what I got. That Thompson Center Impact, man. It's awesome. Just breaks right now.
Oh, yeah.
Put the primer in.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a whole lot. From when I used to hunt my golf fire, you know, and muzzleloaders back then versus now, you know, it's back. I don't know if you remember this. They had a double safety on them. Like you had to pull it back, and like you had to screw it, and then you had a safety on the side too.
It was not.
Yeah, and
Shot those. What were those primers called? Those little tiny ones.
You had the
I always say it's
basic number 11,
nipples.
Number 11,
which was the first one they had.
yeah.
And you had to when you put it on there, you had to put it on there, and then you had to push it real hard, make sure it was on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how times has changed. But you know, that was actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first rifle, I guess you could say, gun I shot.
Yeah.
And I remember shooting that thing. My golfer, that's actually the second time he took me hunting. I still had those blue coveralls on, and he put a bottle out there. I guess probably about 30, 40 yards. And we was actually done hunting for that morning. He said, "Now see if you can hit that ball." And it was a bottle of water. I was like, "Okay." So I sat there, and I remember that was actually the first time I actually looked through a scope or anything. I was like, "Man, this thing is nice." So like, that ball's clear. Boom, shot it. He's like, "Well, I ain't worried about you hitting a deer." I'm like, "Man, you probably just jinxed me. I'm probably gonna miss." But it was actually pretty awesome. And speaking of guns, Devin, you was talking about your truck. And we're speaking about how times has changed. I remember when we was in school, it used to be people would come to school with guns in the back of the truck, and it was going hunting after school, or they missed, first half part of school to go hunting and just come into school and stuff. Yeah. And now you do that, and you go to prison for it. I'm like, man, times has definitely changed. It's not like it used to be and stuff. Heck, I remember, our principal, he was a big rabbit hunter, and I remember one of the guys bringing a deer out, and because he just laid out of school just to go hunting, and he bought a deer to show our principal, and then he was tickled to death, happy and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, that's a memory I really have the rest of my life, because I'm like, now that would never happen.
They suspend him.
No, you brought that deer to school, you're suspended. Yeah. But no, he actually was happy for him and stuff like that, and they sat there and talked about hunting and stuff and about how it happened and stuff, and I'm like, you can't even do that nowadays, and you know what? You know what I was saying, and it shows, really with kids these days. It shows,
It does.
So let's do that drop. Let's do the drop. Let's do the pocket dump.
Okay.
Everybody reach for a pocket.
I think I brought
See what my guys got.
the same thing.
That's a beautiful knife.
Well,
Man. That's a lovely blade.
Which we didn't do this last. So we had already filmed some, and I lost everything. But anyway, we're doing it again. Let me see. This is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 Smoky Mountain Knife Works edition. So, and once again, and I don't even carry a wallet anymore. I have I have this little thing.
Hold on, what? Let's say that.
It's just a Apple wallet.
Apple wallet.
Yeah, and I carry about 3 cards, and if I carry cash is the only thing. Which I very rarely carry.
On how tech I do the card, like in your phone.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Yeah, look, just do this click, and just it goes ding, and I'm done. I don't really carry my wallet into work. This is the only thing I use for lunch and stuff like that. But I actually don't. That's a good thing. I don't think I carry my wallet a lot either. I literally just,
Don't break in my truck. I usually keep my wallet just in my truck, which is just usually got.
I do too, so.
I don't know. There's nothing in it.
What's your truck look like?
Well, right now it's in a
couple of pieces.
A couple pieces. Yeah.
It took a nosedive.
It took a nosedive off. With my wife driving. We don't talk about that.
She's gonna hear this.
She won't make it this far. She's got ADD too. So she'll flip past this, I'm sure.
What you got, Nathaniel?
Man,
I'm kind of scared to ask what
I
you
tell
got.
you what, all I got, man. I got this here wallet. It's Travax. It's a great little wallet.
That's cool.
That's neat.
That's all I got, man.
That's all
Yeah,
you
y'all know
got.
I got more than that.
Yeah, that's all I'm scared. I'm scared to ask.
I got
God.
Microtech Combat Truodon. Nice little knife. Got
You
a.
said it.
Oh, here, hang on a second. We got a camera.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, hold it
Got
up.
the Microtech.
Put that back in. Pop that back
Beautiful.
out again.
Nah, bro. Got a Leatherman Wave. Beautiful multi-tool. What else I got? And then a Streamlight Micro Stream.
I'm gonna have to get me a flashlight.
And then got a spare pistol mag
Oh god.
for a pistol that I may or may not have.
Yeah, can't show that on YouTube. Apparently, you get
Yeah,
demonetized.
he's gone.
Yeah,
That's what we
Yeah.
got.
or something. Not that we're monetized now, but anyway.
Well, I'll go ahead. Of course, can't show pistols. But mine's actually, I tell them, I roll of toilet paper. Okay, you can't go wrong with roll of toilet paper and your 9mm. You gotta have both of them in this world. Okay.
I ain't got the toilet paper.
Well, don't ask me
I'll
for
use
mine.
yours.
No, you ain't.
You can
neither.
use my Leatherman, I'll use your toilet paper.
You better go use some leaves. Leave me alone.
That fun? Oh, you better leave me alone.
What you got, Robert?
Same as I had last time. Just these right here.
Hey, man.
You win some, you lose some, but you always win a fight another day.
Like I said, most time I'll carry like a cold steel knife and Glock 43X.
Oof. Glock
Keep
43X.
that thing on you.
What about you, Aaron?
Well, I'm not old enough to carry yet, but
I'm kind of like him.
I always have my release with me.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, I never know.
Normal pocket knife,
What do you mean normal?
boot knife,
Oh, dang, what about that? He got
go.
the boot.
and just a normal bifold.
Okay.
Nice.
I like that release. What kind of release is that?
That's a Truefire Seer X.
Ooh.
I'm waiting on my new B3 to get in.
Ooh, that's nice.
What?
Ooh.
What do you shoot a thumb
Yes.
back
Well,
tension or whatever?
I have when I shoot competition, I shoot thumb release always, and then I used to shoot. I've shot back tension a couple times. I wasn't, it does help you. I have to say, like, be consistent, and holding stuff like that. But it's not for everybody. Yeah. I felt more comfortable with my thumb release. I feel I can do the exact same thing as that. And hunting wise, I'm actually going to switch back to my thumb release. I have, a wrist strap, Truefire wrist strap I use, and it's really good and stuff like that. And the reason why I switched to that just to get, just a ½ inch on my draw a little bit. But now, I believe with this new Bear Redemption bow and the wall it has, I think I'm gonna switch back to my thumb release, and I feel like I was more, consistent shooter and more accurate with my thumb release. To be honest with you. What about you?
Actually, I'm going to switch back to my Carter Target 3.
All right.
Yeah, I've had a lot.
That's what I got. Well, I got
Really
the Carter
consistent.
Insatiable. You like it?
Yeah, I can't go wrong with it.
See, yeah, it's nice. Now, yours is 3 finger or 4?
3.
See, I think mine's a 4. Mine's a 4 finger and stuff. So it's kind of like you just put it in your hand and you just making the fist. You use thumb release?
Yeah, I use a Stand Perfects.
Okay.
You seen that one? It can be a 2, a 3, or a 4 finger.
Ooh.
It comes in different
Yeah, he's
size
fancy.
barrels.
That's a nice release.
It's a
though.
great
Yeah.
release. It's
That's got one. I love that thing.
It's got a
Yeah,
little
that's
hook.
one.
You can just leave it
Yeah.
Really?
on your bow at all times.
Yep.
You can go ahead and cock it and then put it on your bow even. So like when it's real cold, I'll have it just sitting in my pocket, on my hand, and then you can just silently clip it on there. It's great, man. It's a great release.
He tried to talk me into getting one. I just
Dude,
didn't,
it's-
want to tell him that I'm too poor for that.
Hey man,
That's a high dollar stuff, ain't it?
That's a nice one.
hey man, it's nice.
It is nice.
It's honestly, you kind of get the curse of too many options though, because
Yeah.
like I'll get it dialed in and then I'll
Then you wanna
make
play
it a
with
3
it.
finger, mess with it and mess up my anchor point.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's a great release, man. I really like it. I dropped it in a swamp, completely submerged it in a swamp, went and got it, and it shoots fine. So
Oh, wow.
I emailed them. They told me to rinse it out with water, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, just rinse it out with water. Works great."
My
So-
spring messed up in my Carter. And actually, Carter, the guy who owns it, I emailed him and told him, you know what happened. He actually was gracious enough to send me to springs and for it and stuff. Send me actually, you know, a few different springs, and I'm kind of one of those. I don't like a hard trigger. You know, I want when I squeeze, I have a certain point where I want the arrow to let go. You know, and but I also don't want one where I go and it goes off either.
I've
too,
had
but,
both.
and I have too, and I found out, you know, sometimes, of course, you know, you kind of want that shock anyways, but sometimes you pull back and you ain't down on that target yet, you know, that can make a difference from shooting 300 and shooting, you know, 299. So you shoot a lot of 300 there.
Most of what I shoot is 300s. The last
that?
full
Mostly.
5-spot round I shot was a 298, but that was with my hunting setup, 12-inch front bar, 10-inch back bar, and gold tip pierce hunting arrows. So still had 35Xs. So
Robert can't hit too. I'm just messing.
Can't see that no more. Got to shoot it with a gun.
I'm getting old.
I tell you this, I was shooting a 3D tournament one time, and I was really nervous for some reason. This is like my second one, and I was so nervous. We got up there to this target, and it was just like 20 yards, and I had that Z3. I pulled it back. And I was like, what just happened? I thought I got shot. I forgot to put that arrow in. And they were like inspecting my bow to make sure it didn't have cracks and stuff. It was crazy. But
You got to put an arrow in it.
yeah,
I've seen it
remember to
happen
put
a
the
lot.
arrow in.
That happens. You'll be amazed how much that happens in a competition
Yep.
and stuff.
People get nervous.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully not
Next
on a
thing you
deer.
know, there's been people, they'll throw their equipment and everything.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I mean, it ain't helping nothing, but
Yeah.
if that's what makes you feel better, go
That's
for
what I
it.
do.
You throw it.
Yeah, man.
Well, I had a cousin that had similar situation.
What's that?
I had a cousin, he was bow hunting one day, and he missed one anywhere from like 10 to 20 yards.
Everybody
Like,
hear this?
he missed it 5 times on his 6th arrow. He just said, forget it, just actually slung the arrow at it.
Did
He wasn't
Oh,
going
God.
to waste the
Did he
time
hit it?
trying to, no.
It's a shame.
At that
That would have been a
point,
story.
you know, I call it dumb and deer, but at that point, it probably wasn't scary. Hitting it, to be honest with you, you know, but it is what it is.
That's what it is.
But you know, I like you know shooting, you know, competition, well, find spot and stuff. And I've actually had a bow that Hoyt. Remember that Hoyt? Robert had. I actually bought it off of him, and
I remember which one that one was.
it was spongy as crap.
Yeah.
It was very spongy. That thing, I actually had an arrow in it, and I shot that thing, and that thing came off track. That thing, man, that thing slapped me across the back and everything. I thought my dad was whooping me again, you know? I did. I looked around and I said, Dad, what'd I do? You know? Yeah. It was, but yeah, I got rid of that bow real fast. But yeah, it can happen. But I guess we'll wrap up with this episode. Hey, March 12th, we're going to be live. All right, we're going to have the man, the myth, the Cobra legend, Brett Hall, on here with us. Make sure y'all tune in. All right, make sure you go all platforms, listen to our podcast on Apple, Anchor, and Spotify. If you haven't yet, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to us. We appreciate it. Hey, God bless. Love you guys.